Good afternoon and welcome to Charity Talk with Aaliyah Henry. It is a beautiful day and we are live from Arlington, Texas, here on Fishbowl Radio Network. I'm so excited that all of you have tuned in today for another great segment of Charity Talk. We are featuring nonprofit organizations, philanthropy, volunteerism, all right here in North Texas. My vision is to provide a platform to highlight our local nonprofits, our subject matter experts, philanthropists, and talk to businesses that partner and have a focus on helping nonprofits succeed. Joining me in the Blue Stream today is Lynn Frankenfield, Executive Director, Cleaning for a Reason.
Hi, thanks for having me.
I am so excited that you're here. And we also have via satellite is Mark Parisi, owner of Two Maids and a Mop.
Hi.
Hi, Mark. Thank you for spending your afternoon with us. We appreciate it.
No problem.
So I want to tell my Charity Talk listeners just a little bit about how I met Lynn. And so I was recently at the Volley Now event, which gives nonprofits an opportunity to host volunteer booths to recruit volunteers for their agencies. And so I'd been introduced to Lynn, and I was thinking, Cleaning for a Reason, wow, that I'd never heard of it. And when we started talking about it, I thought for sure I wanted all of my network and any of my Charity Talk listeners to hear a little bit about their story, how they got started, because certainly I think when we're done with this segment, every one of you all will definitely feel like you've already been touched by a certain situation. So Lynn is the executive director for Cleaning for a Reason, and they are a nonprofit organization that serves the United States and Canada. However, of course, I really like to highlight our nonprofits in North Texas, and so they are right here in North Texas, and their mission is to give the gift of a free house cleaning for women undergoing treatment of any type of cancer. And so, I'm so excited to highlight their agency today for our full hour, or full 50 minutes. It's so funny, they make me get off at 3:53 so that we can transition, and so we're not quite on a whole hour. But anyway, love it that we have the opportunity to be here on Fishbowl Radio Network. So I'm excited that we get to highlight Lynn and Cleaning for a Reason. So Lynn, I'll just kind of jump right in, and I want to be able to share with our listeners, talk a little bit about yourself, what you're doing here in the North Texas area, how'd you get here, kind of thing.
Well, I'm in Texas about 11 years. My husband's job brought us to Texas, and we absolutely loved it. We moved here from Florida, completely different, lived on the East Coast, lived all over, and have just fallen in love with Texas. And I've been married for 35 years. I've been in the nonprofit world for 25 plus years. Have two children that are grown, married. My son and daughter-in-law and grandchildren live in Florida, and my daughter and her husband live in Washington, D.C. So our family is scattered all over. Okay. So, yeah.
And I'm sure they enjoy coming to Texas because obviously I'm not a Texan. I probably should be now that I've been here 15 years. But again, it's amazing that you truly never meet a lot of people from Texas because most of everyone that I meet are all implanted here from somewhere else. Talk a little bit about your volunteer experiences here in the North Texas area.
Well, one thing is I love to volunteer, and so any volunteer opportunity out there, I'm raising my hand to do. And of course, I'm in charge of a nonprofit, and we of course look for volunteers. But I'm very involved in my church, Holy Spirit Church. I'm a Eucharistic minister there. I am on the board of directors of my homeowners association. I've also started a women's group within my community so that we could go out and do community service work and also social as well. And I recently signed up to volunteer at Hope Mansion. It's a pregnancy crisis center for women who are pregnant and in crisis. And I'm really excited about it. I just had my volunteer training last week. So my husband and I both signed up to do that. And so I'm a former Rotarian. I was a former president. I volunteered with the Chamber of Commerce, American Heart Association, and the list goes on. So I'm one of these individuals that just love to volunteer, and I appreciate volunteers as well.
I think I do too. As a leader of a nonprofit, it just, as I was talking to you earlier, we've got 35 young elementary students in today making, new home cards for our new residents. They are cleaning furniture that's getting picked up in the next day or two. And, it's just really great. It's always good to see people in your agency and getting involved and just being excited about it. And so I agree with you on that. Agencies are vital to our success, or nonprofits are vital. Not nonprofits. Volunteers are vital to our success. What attracted you to the specific role at Cleaning for a Reason?
Well, as I mentioned earlier, 25 plus year veteran in the nonprofit world and couldn't imagine doing anything else. But for me, one of the things is being part of a cause-driven organization. But my mom's also a 2-time cancer survivor. And when she received her second diagnosis, I decided at that point that I needed to stop what I was doing. I was working for another nonprofit, and I needed to find a nonprofit that was helping women battling cancer. Because my mother got a lease on life not once but twice. And so to honor her, and she's 83 years old.
That's wonderful.
I took some time, and then I just started looking to see what was out there. And as luck would have it, Cleaning for a Reason was looking for an executive director. It was the only job I applied for. And I got an interview, and the rest is history. And so 4 years later, I am running operations at Cleaning for a Reason and loving every minute of it.
Well, you definitely, if any of my Charity Talk listeners could see her face, you can see the passion, and also just see that one of the things I think within any role, and when you take on a role, when you love what you do, it's not truly working. It's a part of you and a part of being able to change a life, change one person, change a situation. And that's one thing that I really truly feel about the nonprofit sector and what it allows us to do and what it gives us the ability to do as leaders. And so, kudos to you, and, blessings to your mom. 83 years, that's amazing. And, I think, there's so many new treatments, and I was sharing with you, I've got a couple of friends that have been through cancer diagnoses as well. And, we're just grateful that there are so many different treatments, but now there's so much other assistance to help women and men battle the different types of cancers that are out there.
Well, and we're really fortunate that Debbie Sardone, our founder, 10 years ago started the foundation. So in 2016, this year, we are celebrating our 10th anniversary. And as a matter of fact, I pulled stats before I came here, and we have served over 22,000 women by providing the gift of a clean home.
Wow, that is exciting.
It is.
That is exciting. Not exciting, and just what great work. That's great. Talk a little bit about the program, how women are brought to your program, or how someone can refer someone to Cleaning for a Reason. How does that work?
Well, one of the great things about our program is anyone can register a woman for services. We just request that the woman knows that, the patient is aware that you're signing her up for services. The patient can sign herself up via our patient portal at www.cleaningforareason.org, or a physician's office, nurse navigator, social worker, family member, friend. And if the patient or the family members don't have access to a computer, they can contact our office at 877-337-3348, and we would love to get them signed up for services. And what we do is we partner with professional cleaning companies who volunteer their time to go out and clean for these women. So they take 2 patients on each month, and they clean for them once a month for 4 months. So it's a general house cleaning. They're not necessarily doing deep cleaning.
Okay.
And we let our partner cleaning companies really drive the ship, so to speak. So they get to schedule a time and a day that works best for them, because of course they're providing this service free of charge. So we want to make sure that obviously they have their regular clients, and so they will contact the patient once they've been matched with the patient and schedule the cleaning. Now, we are a zip code driven and capacity based organization, and what that means is because our maid services agree to take on 2 patients, if they have 2 patients and they're currently cleaning, they won't be able to take on additional patients until they complete that cleaning. And then they include a list of zip codes that they'll service, which is usually within a 10 to 12 mile radius. And so that's what I meant when I had mentioned capacity-based and zip code. And when we contact the patient once she's applied for services, we let her know it's a general house cleaning, that she will be contacted by the maid service, and we request that they create a priority list, some of those things that are really important to them, because what may be important to you may not be important to me. And we've had patients that just wanted bathrooms cleaned and that was it. And then we've had other patients that wanted other rooms cleaned. And so we want to leave it up to them, and then also leave it up to our cleaning companies in terms of the length of time that they can spend doing the cleaning. And so if they allocate a certain amount of time and they complete that cleaning, and Mark can talk a little bit better to this later, they'll do some more. And I actually volunteered my time with one of our local cleaning companies to go out and clean for a cancer patient, and I can tell you it was a major impact, because you don't necessarily know what to expect. You've been with it with your family members, but when you go into someone else's home and you see what they're going through and how appreciative they are and the difference it makes in their day, it's unbelievable. And I'm sitting there thinking, as I'm cleaning, this is not a big deal, but for her, it was as though we had given her the world. And so our focus is really to reduce the patient's stress and ease the burden once a cancer diagnosis is received, so that they can focus on their health and their family and not having to worry about cleaning their home.
So talk a little bit about when you talked about the priority list and the time for the cleaning. So if someone is referring, do they automatically get up to 4 months? So what if something happens and they would like to extend it? Is there an opportunity for them to come back and refer themselves, or how does that work?
So what we do is, if we have a worst case scenario that the patient happened to have one free cleaning and then maybe had to go back into the hospital, she would contact us and let us know that she does not want the remainder of her cleanings. And so she would reapply for services. But because we have such a tremendous need out there and an influx of applications, we wish we could do more than 4 months, but right now, that's all we're able to do.
Okay. And so do you currently, and with that being said, do you currently have a wait list of families?
Well, we don't necessarily keep a wait list just because we get on average 1,200 applications per month that come in. And I had pulled some statistics, and the American Cancer Society estimates that in 2016, over 843,000 women, just women alone, will be diagnosed with some form of cancer, which is incredible. And that's not, taking in men, children, what have you. That's just women. And of course, not everybody is applying for services, and not everyone wants services. Exactly. But again, the volume that we get in, and as you mentioned earlier, we serve the U.S. and Canada. We have over 1,200 affiliate cleaning companies that participate in this program. And although that seems like a lot, when you look at geographically the area we serve, it really is not a lot of cleaning partners out there to help the number of applicants that are requesting services.
So are there any typical areas in the Dallas-Fort Worth area that you typically see requests from where you don't have any cleaning services to assist in that area?
Well, because we're zip code based and capacity based, we can use cleaning services all over, absolutely, because the demand is there. There's no doubt about it, and just by looking at the statistics and seeing the numbers increase and the number of requests that we get, we can always use maid services all over.
And talk about are there any types of donations that you are seeking to help your agency at this time?
Well, of course, as a nonprofit, and as all nonprofits, financial donations are always welcome. We are, we're always out there trying to educate the public about who we are and what we're doing, because two things that helps us. One, it gets the word out for women that are in need of our services, and it also gets the word out to cleaning companies, letting them know that there's an opportunity if they want to pay it forward in their own community and serve women battling cancer. There's an organization that they can partner with, and we would love to have them. We would absolutely love to have them because, again, we don't want to have to turn anyone away or have a waiting list or anything like that. And so there's such a need in that particular area.
Okay. And then are there any volunteer opportunities that you need help with at the office or at any events that are upcoming?
Well, we always need help at the office, and I know that that's not a glamorous thing to do because most people don't necessarily want to do office work, but I can't even begin to tell you, we serve the U.S. and Canada, and there's 8 staff that handle everything, so we can always use help in that respect. And we are working at putting together a volunteer program. As I mentioned earlier, I went out and volunteered with one of our partner cleaning companies, and we would love to be able to do that. We know many companies have community service days where their leadership team or their staff go out and volunteer, and so it's something that we're working on and would love to be able to do and love to be able to offer that. So that's something that is in the works, and we are looking at doing a fundraiser this year because it is our 10th anniversary. As a matter of fact, I have a meeting on Thursday about that, and so there'll certainly be more to come. Visit our Facebook page, and you'll definitely get to see all that information about upcoming fundraisers and things. But again, please feel free to reach out to me at the office. If you have a burning desire to volunteer or have any questions about the foundation, I would love to chat with you.
Thanks, Lynn.